Thank you, dear viewers, for watching Nile TV International, and thank you for joining this special edition and special coverage of events taking place here in Egypt, in the region, and globally. It was a very active day of diplomacy, as usual, for Egypt. The foreign minister held phone talks with the UN Secretary General. They talked about Gaza mainly. Also, Egypt issued a statement regarding the situation in Lebanon. Also, the foreign ministers of Egypt, Arab and Islamic countries issued a statement regarding the so-called Somaliland. And also the foreign minister Abdul Ati met with the EU High Representative to discuss the Egyptian-European Egypt-EU partnership and a number of issues of mutual concern, including Gaza, atop of which Gaza, but also Sudan, Libya and Yemen were on the table. So, as usual, a busy day for Egyptian diplomacy. With us now here in the studio is Mr. Mohammed Salah, political analyst. Good evening, Mr. Salah. First time to have you in 2026. Happy New Year. It's busy as usual. A very hot start to 2026. Of course, that started, I guess, with Venezuela.
A very dramatic start about 2026, and I think it's a very crucial and important year. It has started with headlines of what will happen in the few months as well, as we can say.
Venezuela and Yemen, I guess, were the two striking
and
new developments.
And Syria at the same time. We have a lot of actions in Syria, in Yemen and Venezuela, and also in Sudan, and also in Eritrea, in many territories in
the other topics are continuation. But Venezuela was new.
But first, I'd like to express my grateful and my feelings for being with you and all of your followers, or your general followers at this time.
Always a pleasure.
The first meeting in 2026, and I hope all of our followers to have a fruitful discussion this day.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Dr. Salah. So, sir, let's start with the foreign minister's phone talks with the UN Secretary General, where the foreign ministry spokesman said that Minister Abdul Ati conveyed President Assisi's greetings to Guterres for his just and wise stances in dealing with various issues on regional and international stages. And also Mr. Guterres hailed Egypt's pivotal role in preserving security and stability in the region, and of course its commitment to principles of the UN Charter. Gaza was the main point of the discussion.
Sure, we have to know well that Gaza haven't reached any end for the struggle or for the war that have been happened or have been taking place in the Middle East from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So it's important to say that Gaza is really tied to the international stability and international security, and for the Egyptian national security at the same time. We have to know well that the Trump's ceasefire agreement that have been happened or taken place in last October in 2025 have to be fulfilled or have to be moved to the next stage or the second stage about this agreement.
And we heard Mr. Trump that he wants to move it to the second stage.
Sure, but what we have to know is that the Israeli government and the Israeli Prime Minister do not have the desire or the real desire to move to the next step or the next stage of this ceasefire agreement. And they have the desire to come back to the war or taking military actions in Gaza Strip, or dividing Gaza into two sections, the east section and the west section. And they have a lot of plans about giving settlements or restoring settlements in Gaza Strip. And all of these topics is really spoken or really discussed in a wide range in the Israeli media, Israeli television and Israeli radio stations.
Yeah, so they are making no secret of their plan.
There is no secret. They are talking about this in general with all the Israeli people. And we have to know well that all of these actions does not represent any trend, does not represent any desire to continue on implementing this agreement, whether because of the only dead body that's being waited for for those hostages.
Understood. Despite the great effort.
And about the second main issue is how to disarm Hamas, or giving up Hamas, or to exit Hamas from the political scene in Gaza in the future. Not only Hamas, they also want to exit the Palestinian Authority itself at the same time. And so we have to know, well, whether you don't want Hamas and don't want the Palestinian Authority, what are your vision for the next day for Gaza, or for the future of Gaza Strip in general? They have no vision, they have no solutions except liquidating the Palestinian issue and transferring Palestinian people from Gaza to other territories outside Gaza. And this is the main goals of the Israeli government and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and he keep trying to convince all.
So you think the danger still exists?
Sure.
The original plan that Egypt uncovered from day one, the evil Israeli plan to displace Palestinians from their homelands and move them into
other territories, not only for Egypt. For example, they are talking about
displacement
of the Palestinians to Somaliland, and this is the reason of recognizing Somaliland as an independent state for the first time. And I think this is one of the most important topics that are taking place now in the international community in general.
We'll be discussing that.
And what I'd like to say that is we have to know well that they are looking for a new struggle and a new war in the Middle East in order to quit from their internal problems, from their internal issues. We have witnessed yesterday about a lot of actions that have been taken by Haredim, that they are refusing going into the Israeli army and into action to be a part of the Israeli army. And they have a lot of demonstrations in Jerusalem and in Tel Aviv, and they have a lot of problems that will affect the stability and the existence of the Israeli government. So to quit these internal problems, to quit from this internal struggle, they are looking for a new war. They are
escaping via war.
Escaping to war, and this is the basic point of what's happening now in the Middle East. You have a radical government which are looking for the war continuously.
I mean, you're hinting.
They do not have a strong belief in peace. They do not want to live in peace in the Middle East or any other world.
I have a hunch that you're hinting here about a potential imminent Israeli war either on Hezbollah or on Iran. I mean, they
are thinking of both. They want to take to start war with both sides, but the problem is who is the first, what are the beginning, how we could take the beginning from Iran or from Hezbollah in Lebanon. And I think what's happening now from the demonstration that are taking part in Iran
speaking of Hot 26,
makes Lebanon is more suitable for them to start with. They will give the demonstration, the public demonstration in Iran to take place, or to try to end up the Iranian regime now, in order to solve the problem and to give another regime which will achieve their goals, or which give them the goals they need in nuclear program, in army or ballistic missiles, drones. All of these actions could be applied or could be achieved through another regime, which will come as a result from the current situation in Iran.
And back to your words when you were saying that they are discussing all of their plans in the media. I'm talking here about the Israel and its media. It's also been publicly not hidden. We've heard the Israeli media talk about the fact that the fall of the Iranian regime should be the goal of the next confrontation between Tel Aviv and Tehran. And they are not hiding this. I mean, they are talking now about that this is the goal. This should be
because this is the main goal of Israel from this confrontation or from this struggle between Israel and Iran. They are looking for another regime which will help them to achieve their goals in the Iranian issue. So they tried a lot of ways in order to fall this regime, and they failed in falling them by war, or in the summer, yes, by we have to say that by traditional ways of war. So they are moving now to untraditional, or the fourth generation of war, is how to make the people, your way to go to your goals or to achieve your goals by moving people, by giving the demonstrations the right or the right to exist, by providing the protester with all support in order to achieve, or order to fall the Iranian regime.
And the Israeli war crime suspect prime minister must have been very encouraged when he heard US President Donald Trump saying that if the Iranian regime continues to kill protesters, that Trump will intervene. I mean, it's about that the US will not allow
they will support the protesters by all means. They will support them by all means in order to reach this goal. And I think it's a shared goal between United States and Israel, is to get out of this regime, which is a stronger life for China, which is a stronger life for Russia, and they have to end up this struggle in order to give or take a step forward in the confrontation with China, which is the basic and the most important struggle now in the world in general, which is between United States and China.
And probably Venezuela, part of the issue, it's all about oil as it seems, but part of the issue is the fact also of the closeness that was between the Maduro and between the Iranian regime, or the anti-Israel rhetoric. It must have been a factor.
I'd like to say that all the actions taken now, all the wars, all the confrontations, all the struggles are a result for the basic confrontation between the East and the West. And this is the main problem, is that we are witnessing a new regime, a new world regime that is being generated now. And all the powers, or the superpower in the world, are fighting together in order who will lead the world tomorrow, who will coincide this formula of the
No doubt
of the future.
No doubt.
So this is the important.
And it's enough, it's enough to look at the Ukraine, or the talk about Greenland, or what Denmark is saying, that if Greenland is attacked, then there is no NATO.
East Africa, West Africa, all of these actions, all of these problems, international problems, talking about new states, talking about new dividing or separating current states, all of this action reflecting the important and the conflict and the hard confrontation between the East and the West. And we don't have any chance. We don't have really any chance from 2 or 3 or maybe 10 years ago to end this struggle, because of going ahead on this confrontation will affect all the states around the world, not only those who are fighting each other, but all the people and all the nations around the world will be affected by this struggle.
You took us from the nucleus to the outer edges of the sphere, and this is why I have to ask you this question before I go back to Gaza, because I want to go back to Gaza, Lebanon, Yemen, Sudan and Libya.
Sure.
But I have to ask this question. Mr. Trump kept talking about the Monroe Doctrine and the Western Hemisphere, and look at what he did in Venezuela and Cuba, Mexico, Colombia. No one knows who's next, if there will be next, because there is a US Senate resolution today that will probably cripple Trump a little bit, and he called them stupid, by the way. He called their actions stupidity. These are the words of Mr. Trump. But my question to you is, because you took us to the global scene, you took us to the big picture, to the East-West standoff, to the real thing. So my question is exactly this. Did what Trump do in Venezuela encourage China to do the same in Taiwan? This is my question.
Totally agree with you. And I'd like to say that when President Trump thought that what we'll do in Venezuela will prevent China or Russia from
Or Russia and Ukraine,
from taking the same action into Ukraine or into Taiwan, I think it is not right.
Because this is not the Western Hemisphere, that's the Eastern Hemisphere.
This is the problem, and you do not have the ways to affect on them, and you have keep fighting for many years, and you have no success on this fight, and you have to think more about the actions, or about what they will do. Have to know well that states like superpower like Russia and China not witness what you are doing with Venezuela, and you are giving them or talking them out from Venezuela and from the Latin America and from the West world in general. They will have the same action towards you. Let me take about the economic struggle or the economic conflict that have been happening from the early beginning of Trump's second
term as president.
As a president. He took a very strong actions towards the China economically. What are the results of this conflict? China have won this struggle with full control about the American economy. When you give China a lot of actions, a lot of decisions that preventing Chinese products from entering the American market, you got a lot of problems in the American market itself, in the American citizens, in the American investors. And so you have to know well that we have now to start a good and the right discussion between both sides in order to reach an agreement, in order to reach solutions for all of these conflicts, especially that China is not any ordinary state or any other state. You have to
it's the main challenge.
That China now is the factory of the world. You have to know that China now won't be able to be treated as you have done with the Soviet Union in the past. You have to understand that the political position of China and the economic position of China is so strong.
Of course.
They won't be defeated
This is the challenger
easily.
In boxing language. I mean, this is the challenger to the heavyweight champion of the world and still undefeated, the United States. But I mean, this is the challenger that could, could bring you the first defeat.
And America should know or should understand that there is no solutions with China except discussions.
Dialogue,
discussions and strong discussions, and you have to know well that to speak to each other in a direct way to reach solutions.
Okay, I want to go back to Gaza, Mr. Salah. Everybody will be treated fairly. Remember whose words were these?
Trump.
Right. And he was talking about the Gaza issue.
President Trump.
The
yes.
Gaza issue. What is happening now? I mean, I don't know. I mean, things are vague, are obscure.
Not this either. And we have to know, have to understand the position or the goals of President Trump from Gaza Strip in general to interpret his actions or to interpret his situation about them. The first important part we have to know is about the internal elections that are taking part in America. The Democrats have won the last elections from the Republicans by giving a lot of states about the governors of states, and I think this is the basic one. which is about the losses of Republican Party in the elections inside America.
Right.
And the second is the struggle between America and China.
Right.
He find that he don't have any ally in the Middle East except Israel, and he's treating Israel as an ally in the Middle East, not only at a state or Jewish state or any other state. It's a small America in the Middle East, and he's treating with Israel on this basis. And the third important part is about the supporters of Israel in America, and about what we are calling the Israeli lobby and IPAC and other organizations that are taking part in the American political systems, and their strong support or the strong effect on the political system in America in general, about the elections in general. And we are now in the front, we are now going to another elections in
November.
In November, I think, in a few months in the future, and he wants to win these elections, not to repeat what happened in the governor's elections in last 2 months.
Right.
All of these actions are having or affecting.
Or else he will be the so-called lame duck president. I mean, the president that is handcuffed, that can't do.
No, I think he have a lot of.
If he loses,
I think he have a lot of actions to do. But we have to understand that this president is not free to do all what he says. We have to know that the American president.
Okay, what about the Israeli war crime suspect prime minister? Do you think he's going to win his elections?
Because of one thing, because of there is no other candidates or not other political leaders, especially that Israel have a strong period of time are looking for a political leader, and they do not find this leader till now. We are knowing about or talking about 11 governments in 10 years. You have to know that these extremists who are governing Israel now, this is the longest period of time for any government, I think, from 20 years ago. We have to know that a lot of problems that are taking part inside the Israeli society in general, and we have to know well that the leftists in Israel, or the left political side in Israel, is not enough or is not qualified enough to reach or to achieve the majority that will help him to govern Israel, to formula the government in Israel. So I think he have a lot of ways. I have a lot of chances to continue as a prime minister.
Especially if he ignites another war.
I think this is the main problem, and I think the only way to exit Benjamin Netanyahu from the government will be by giving him or delivering him to jail, sending him to jail in the cases or in the issues that are taking now.
But of course Trump wants a pardon, and
this is the only way to reach peace in the Middle East, is to send this person to jail,
where he deserves. Mr. Salah, Egypt commended the efforts of Lebanon, which concluded the first phase of a plan to deploy across the area south of the Litani River. Lebanon is trying to avert war with the Lebanese government is trying to avert a war with Israel. It wants the application of Resolution 1701. Egypt is, of course, calling for the application of the UN resolution. And is calling on Israel to withdraw from all Lebanese points and lands and cease the aggression against Lebanon. Where do you think the South Lebanon issue, or the Lebanon or the Hezbollah Israel stand?
I would like to say that the Lebanese government have been informed or played very important parts in the last few months. Like the new president of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun, have achieved a lot of actions, a lot of successful steps towards disarming Hezbollah, or what we can call it, uniting the power
in the hands of the military,
or the military,
all of the weapons, and
all the weapons under the state of Lebanon. And I'd like to say the main goal from this action is not to achieve peace in Lebanon, or giving a fruitful discussions or a fruitful negotiations between Israel and Lebanon. The main goal from these actions is to send Lebanon to civil war.
The Israeli goal, yeah.
This is the Israeli goal. So whatever the Lebanese government done, they won't achieve, or they won't achieve what the Israeli wants, because they don't know. There is no one in the world will tell you, I want you to fight your brother. But he will give you problems. He will give you the actions. Will give you the international law. When you do whatever you do, you won't have to achieve anything, or want to have to achieve peace with others, because their goal is not achieving peace.
Well, Israel, of course, would like to see Lebanon go into civil war, and would like to see Syria as well.
They have
Syria
also,
as well.
we have to know that Israel is looking for expansion. Whether this expansion is politically, geographically, economically, or social,
culturally, or
I think they are looking for expansion. When you are talking about expansion and a strong desire to have the southern places, or the South Litani territories, whatever you want, I won't accept. So I think the problem now is how to convince the Lebanese people to being side by side in front of in confronting this problem. And I'd like to say that Hezbollah have to understand how and that this period of time is not easy to say words and expressions that have been taken 2 years ago.
The situation is very fluid, Mr. Salah, and it's also very tricky, because Hezbollah might be telling themselves, I mean, we know that Israel will attack us. We know Israel will attack our main
and the Lebanese government also knows, not only Hezbollah, and the government in Lebanon know this. And so I'd like to say, when we say that if you want to disarm Hezbollah, you have to what I'd like to say is preparing a strong and highly qualified army to serve, or to solve, or to do the constitutional rules of any army to the Lebanese state. You are not accepting to do this. You are not giving, or you are not supporting the Lebanese army. You refuse to give them any fundraising to maintain, or to develop, or to buy a new and well-developed weapons.
You're talking to the international community.
About the international community and about the United States directly. I would like to say that President Trump's envy to Lebanon said it in a direct way. We do not. We do not. Yes. We do not know. We do not want another power that are fighting Israel, but we are looking for ending the power in Lebanon in general. And this is the problem.
Stunning to hear, really. Mr. Salah, 4 minutes and 4 topics, so one minute for each. I mean, sorry, but it's really, I mean, everything is interconnected. Everything is interconnected. Everything is happening very fast.
But all the actions
Somaliland, Israel recognizes Somaliland, the first country in the world to do so. Egypt and Arab and Islamic countries have condemned this recognition and said that this is, of course, an attack against the sovereignty of Somalia, of Mogadishu.
What I would like to say,
your comment.
What I would like to say is that Israel, by recognizing the independence of Somaliland, it's about the first of all, we have to know that there is no need for this action. When we are talking about a new state, or separating states, you have to tell me the reason. What is the reason for these actions? Because we are talking
on
about
the ground. Did this recognition by Tel Aviv change anything on the ground? The fact
on the ground or on the facts, I'd like to know that all the international communities, all the international organizations, not only Egypt, but I'd like to say that African Union, European Union, United Nations, Security Councils, all the partners or all the international organizations have refused this recognition from Israel because it's not legal action. It's not legal, and it's. I would like to say that all of the world have a strong desire to keep Somali Federation alive.
United
or alive.
To whom it may concern. This is very important.
Sure. The second topic.
Yeah, Mr. Abdulati discussed with the EU High Representative a number of issues. We've talked about Gaza was one of them. We've talked about it, but they've also, and of course, the Egyptian-European partnership. But they've also talked about Sudan, Libya, and Yemen. One, two, three. Sudan, Libya, and Yemen. Yemen. What's happening? I mean, does anybody understand what's happening?
What's happening in Yemen is a civil or internal conflict from the Yemeni parts, or about the Yemeni parts in Yemen. And I would like to say that they have to come back and have a lot of problems in the Yemen have to be solved between the Yemens and themselves. We have to keep them to speak to each other, not fighting each other.
In the midst of a vision of a united Yemen that has a territorial integrity and so on.
There is no reason for separating current states in the Middle East or in the world in general. If you have a problem, you have to discuss this problem with the others. I would like to say also that if you have a separate union, you will be obliged to do or to.
Are you optimistic that things can be solved in Yemen?
In Yemen?
Yeah.
It will take sometimes, but it will be solved. Finally, will be talked because of. We have to understand that the political position of Egypt and Saudi Arabia. This is the fact in the Middle East. What's achieved or what's accounted or what's targeted between Egypt and Saudi Arabia.
They are the heavyweights of the region, no doubt.
Will happen.
So let's take Egypt and Saudi Arabia to Sudan, because they also have a unified position.
We have a unified position in all topics with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Is there any progress in Sudan?
About Sudan, we have the International Committee for Sudan, which is formulated from United States of America, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. And this final situation is taking all parties in Sudan to ceasefire and preparing Sudan to internal elections that will this will enable the Sudanese people to choose his leader and his government. This will be the final scene in this action, whether it took a lot of time or not.
Inshallah, and of course we hope, for the sake of the humanitarian catastrophe that's happening there, that everybody stays safe in Sudan, despite the terrorist attacks that were committed by the Rapid Support Forces militias. Finally, Libya, and we wrap up with our western border. Any hope of any progress in Libya soon? Won't
be easy, but we'll have a unified Libya in general also. But we have to understand well that the problem in Libya is so complicated and it's not easy to be solved at 1 or 2 months. But I think when we have a strong situation from the international community, Libya will be unified the next day.
Inshallah. And thank you, Mr. Salah, for being with us. It's a very hot start. Very hot start to 2026. We hope things cool down a little bit, because we're trying to catch up, really. There's so much to talk about.
Dramatic start in 2026.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. Happy New Year.
Me too, Mr. Brell.
Mr. Salah, and thank you, viewers, for watching us. Please stay with Nile TV.